Thank you. I'm Ruth Hasnip, and I'm the National Programme Director for DOT at the Design Council. And I just wanted to build up on a bit of this thing, the challenge of democratising design. Oh, speed up. Which obviously Emily talked about and Jeremy did a bit. And I guess from the different contexts, from designers, from people, and from institutions, because I'm interested that the conversations I'm having at the moment, it's sort of polarising people generally, that you've got a design community who isn't interested in this co-creation, co-development, participative model, and you've got another percentage who are really interested in it. And I'm just thinking, is that going to create a sort of two-tiered system within our design industry? And how do we give them the confidence and the skills to actually embrace this kind of work and not to be concerned about it? Because I think we have got a problem there. I'm also interested in how do we actually create this sort of energy within our citizens to participate in the way that we all sort of have a vision that they will. Because the experience that we find in our projects, it isn't that obvious. It isn't, the citizens aren't waiting there all the time to want to get involved. So I'm really interested in how we actually kind of use design to actually make that happen on a more practical basis. But I guess the thing that I'm really worried about at the moment, I guess is the bigger challenge, is the institutions. We fundamentally have a political system here which is command and control, and therefore this whole premise of kind of co-creation and participation by citizens is stifled because of that political system that we have in the UK. It's not just the UK, but Emily might be able to fill in a bit more about other political systems, but I think that's going to fundamentally sort of prevent this movement going forward, because until we radically change that, or we provide models which are acceptable to that political system, that they can sort of see how the kind of co-creation model can actually thrive, it won't ever happen in practice, and you'll have pockets of activity which will be great case studies, great examples, but it will never be systemised and it will never be sort of wholesale. The other bit I'm really interested in is this kind of word of scale. Ezio talked about it and a couple of other people did, and I don't know what we mean by scale. We talk about scaling up, we talk about scaling out, scaling across. What is it we're actually scaling? Are we scaling skills? Are we scaling ideas? Are we scaling knowledge? Are we scaling designers? Are we scaling people to do things more for themselves? I think we need to really hone that down a bit so we can understand what it is we're trying to scale. Otherwise, I think it's almost, the perception is that we end up taking a good idea and trying to replicate it across many places. And fundamentally, I think that's against the kind of co-development model, because it will not be localised, it will not be unique, and it will not therefore be owned by the citizens or the people who develop something. I don't think you can take a great idea locally, put it into some sort of national machine, spit it back out again and roll it out. I think it's fundamentally against the kind of model of co-creation. So I think scale is something that I'm really interested in. How do we create a model for scale which actually works and doesn't just fall back into replicating the same problems that we've had historically. So I suppose those are my two kind of concerns, is what does scale really mean and what does it look like? And this thing around democratising design, how within our current sort of political sort of structures is it ever really going to take hold? Because there's too many institutions in the way of making it take hold.